Hey, it's John and Rachel from YaJagoff. It is the podcast day. We're a little bit early, but once in a blue moon, we kind of pop up with that E word early. We're not at noon because we are behind the scenes at the Dollar Bank Three Rivers Arts Festival, a production of the Cultural Trust. Boom, Sarah Aziz.
You got it.
I mean, the P word. We didn't know if it was program or production.
So we're always down there at TRAF, and you know we're not allowed to say, we have to say it's the Dollar Bank Three Rivers Arts Festival presented by a production of the Pittsburgh Cultural Trust. I knew I was going to get it wrong, but now I got it once right. Anyways, we're going to be behind the scenes here. You're going to see some people that are involved in it, but as you're listening to the podcast next week, we'll still have lots of good information because there's so much that goes on here other than TRAF. You good?
I'm good. And now we start the YaJagoff Podcast from TRAF.
Yeah.
Ready?
Get the best experience of customer service and maintenance of your Rorick Advantage at the Service Center on West Liberty Avenue. Seriously, go see Mike, call him a YaJagoff, and he will know you came from us. Visit RorickHonda.com for all of your vehicle needs and check out our blog posts, which usually are about driving or parking in Pittsburgh.
So speaking of, if you checked out any of our blog posts this week, you will totally see that we picked on some parkers. So one of them was submitted by our friend Marie Popachak, who, yes, used to be one of the amazing operators behind the scenes of Pittsburgh Today Live. She is in Texas, and she said YaJagoffs are even bigger in Texas because everything is bigger in Texas. So she showed us a picture of this parking. It was hysterical. Describe it, because you wrote all about it.
It was like one of those landscaping trailers on the back of a huge pickup truck, like one of those two-seater pickup trucks. And they were parked all along, taking 6 spaces. 6. In front of a convenience store, which is supposed to be convenient for you to pull up and go in and get something and come back out. But no, you couldn't be convenient because of this parker.
Right, exactly. And then we also called out moms who are Jags when it comes to the last day of school lunches, like me, because I looked at Mother Hubbard's cupboard and I realized, listen, my peanut butter and jelly is really dismal. So I literally used Christmas jam, not sure of the flavor, and a little packet of Jif. That's how low I was on my supplies for packing. Sorry, summer's here. So
what was it actually jelly or was it just
jam? It was Christmas jam. I swear to God. I pulled it out and I said, "Oh my God, they're gonna kill me." But one of my kids came home and said, "Mom, that peanut butter and jelly was so good." So thanks to the Christmas jam.
The Christmas
there you go.
jam.
And then the big news that we're super proud of is, I tell the story all the time. When I worked at the Tribune Review, we always had to submit for the Golden Quills, much to my dismay, never winning. Until I partnered with John Chamberlain from the YaJagoff Podcast. We took home 3 Golden Quill Awards as judged by the LA Press Club. So we are so proud because of the amazing team we have. Shout out to Tracy and Monica, Johnny, all the behind the scenes people who help us every single week to make this happen. So
yeah, it is clear that the LA folks need more entertainment because they said about our podcast of the behind the scenes at the Demolition Derby that this is the funniest podcast in the nation.
We'll take it.
So they're clearly bored.
We'll take it, LA.
Yeah.
No, we'll take it. So here we are at the Dollar Bank Three Rivers Arts Festival, a production of the Cultural Trust, because we do this every year. This is one of our annual opportunities because A, Sarah Aziz is one of our absolute favorite people, and B, the Cultural Trust just keeps upping the ante in culture, in art, in things for people and families to do for free and enjoy and really experience the cultural life of downtown Pittsburgh. So Heather, you are here, and we appreciate you because Sarah said you need to meet Heather, who is tell us, program.
I'm the programming manager for the Pittsburgh Cultural Trust.
I was going to call you director again because you have some great things. So tell us about what your role is.
So I work with the directors at the Cultural Trust to bring in the programming throughout the year at the various theaters in the district, the Byam, sometimes the Benedum, as well as work with all of the festivals that happen throughout the year to program the creative zones, the creativity zones, or the family zones for families and festival attendees to come and enjoy themselves and get a little creative.
What goes into that? Because you make it sound easy, right? You make it sound like, oh, I just come up with the programming. But there are so many different audiences in which, like, you have to check the boxes, right?
Sure,
you have to think
right.
about who's interested in this and who fits that bill.
Right. So we kind of begin the year with the children's Children's Festival, which is in May, the end of May, the weekend right after Mother's Day. So that audience is obviously young families. Anywhere from 0 to 18 is who we look for. Our primary audience is probably in the 3 to 12 zone. So we reach out to all of the amazing artistic organizations in this city and see if they can come out and provide some sort of activation for families to come and interact with their organization and interact with the festival footprint, along with seeing some of the amazing international featured performances that our directors bring in, which is our director of children's programming is Pam Komar, and she brings in amazing international artists to the festival. So then we move right into TRAF, and so our audience for TRAF is also families, but we try to have a wider scope because maybe you come to TRAF and are super inspired by all the beautiful art and you want to make some of your own. So again, we reach out to local organizations to bring in activities, especially for younger kids or all kids, but families to explore and get their creative juices flowing.
Sure.
Based on probably what they're seeing professional artists do. And then we also have a creativity zone at the Highmark First Night. Again, just a place for families to come and get a little of that creative energy out.
I love it.
That evening.
So this is interesting in that do you travel around the country to see other places and see how we rank? You know, as Pittsburghers, we have to be number one in everything.
Of course.
But we also did a
Claim it,
podcast,
right?
and Rachel will remember, we did it at a gallery over in Lawrenceville, I think it was, and we found out that Pittsburgh has the most galleries, second to
Which is
New York City or
amazing.
something
Yeah.
like that. Is that true?
So amazing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Okay, all right.
I don't know if I know that.
We'll claim it.
But
Okay,
I'll say I don't doubt it. I think
Right.
there's so much creative energy in this city.
Is that right?
I think so.
And are
so
we
many
drafting
creative
people like, we're drafting chefs from other places?
Sure,
Are we
right.
drafting artists as well? Are
I
we
think
comforting to them?
in the art community, especially if you go outside of the city, people always say, Pittsburgh, that's a great place for art. Oh, Pittsburgh, they have so much art. And the international artists that we bring in, especially even just this May, we're like, this is an amazing city. Look at all the creative things that are happening in this city, all the art that's being produced in this city. So I can tell you just even 2 weeks ago, we had artists from Australia and Madagascar and the UK, and they were all so thrilled with learning
Wow.
about Pittsburgh and being part of that scene for a little bit.
Now, do we know about them and they come to the arts festival, then we go, oh, we really liked them, and we put them as an exhibit later on in the year, 2 years
Maybe.
later?
I think it
or does
just-
it happen the opposite, or they're independent of each other?
I think they're independent of each other,
Okay.
but I think that once people come into the city and know the city and have toured or have had their tours stop in the city, I think they seek it out again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very nice.
What do you think it is about Pittsburgh? Are you originally from Pittsburgh?
I am
Okay.
originally from Pittsburgh. Yeah, I
That
know.
that was a tough one. No. What is it about Pittsburgh? When we speak with people who are who are coming for the first time, I think there is, my words, not theirs, but sort of a summary of what I get from them. Pittsburgh was categorized so differently years ago,
Yeah.
and we've evolved so much in so many different areas, like
Right.
John said, like from food to art. Or is it welcoming? Is it more of a place that they want to return?
Right, I think so. I think we have this very friendly, I hate to be like Midwest quality
Sure.
to Pittsburgh, but that kind of welcoming quality to Pittsburgh, while still being on this path of, if you're going to hit New York and you're going to come through with a touring piece of art, you're going to hit Pittsburgh because it's a great stop. So I think that it's the bang for the buck in terms
Sure.
of value is
Yeah.
a really big draw. I think the universities are a great
No
draw.
question. Yeah.
Are
I
we
think-
good consumers of art? Like, artists
Sure.
come
That's a
here.
really good question.
I can go look at, oh, that's really nice.
Right.
But how many people actually contribute to the artists?
Sure.
By buying things?
Sure.
We heard you were up for buying a couple things.
Oh, yeah. Believe me,
Yes,
I've swiped my card
absolutely.
at 4 or 5 different places.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, even yesterday, the first day of the festival started, and I was amazed at how many people were coming out of the offices, coming out for their lunch
Okay.
hour, super excited to meet the artists of the Artist
Good.
Market. I know even just in our office, people are like, bought our Christmas present.
Yeah. All right.
You know, going around and looking to see what kind of artisans are around the city and
I just
in.
didn't want people like, oh, that ain't a Franco Harris jersey, so I ain't buying it.
No,
You know?
no. And if you talk to people who've been in the city for a long time, the Three Rivers Arts Festival is something they
That's
come back
good,
to
yeah.
every
Absolutely.
year.
Yes.
They're so excited to see what art is out
Nice.
there. I think it's a really special thing for the city.
Agree.
For sure.
So you have a little friend to the
I
left
do.
of you, and this was my favorite part. You said, "Evelyn, do you want to come on?" Yes. Like, yeah, I want to come on the podcast. Welcome, Evelyn.
Hi.
Hi.
This is my
So,
9-year-old daughter,
I
Evelyn.
love this. Now, is this something in your own family that's a tradition, as you said?
Yeah, to come down to the arts festival, absolutely. To come down and see the city, especially in the summer, when the bridges are open and the sky is blue. It's just it's a great time. Sorry, I'm speaking for her.
Do you
No,
love it,
no, you're
Evelyn?
fine.
Do you love it?
It can be sometimes like weird to come down like every single day.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes, but usually it's pretty fun to do.
Okay. Yeah, what's your favorite? Do you like to look at the things, or do you like where you go get active and paint and color on the sidewalk and things like that?
I like when you get like active and paint because I feel like all of the like little kids aren't gonna just look around at like
Right.
all of the art and stuff like that, and they need and like sometimes like when a museum says like don't touch something, a little kid would try and touch it. So sometimes I think that like it's great that they have these little activities for the littler kids to do.
Evelyn, are you done
Wow.
with school for the year?
Almost. I have 1 week.
I would recommend not going to school and saying you're on the YaJagoff Podcast.
There you go.
just let's keep that
And
to
I would like
ourselves,
to
right?
add that Evelyn is one of the best speakers I've heard, and we've interviewed quite a few. That's amazing. What school do you attend?
I go to Baker Elementary.
Okay, fantastic. Shout out to Baker. So, Heather, where can everybody find you, follow you, learn more about the importance of the Cultural Trust and where they can
Sure.
find more programming?
Yeah, absolutely. I would go to the Cultural Trust website, see what happenings are coming up. There's going to be so many beautiful performances, so many shows. The Trust Arts Ed Center is also a great place to find ways for young people to connect into the art. So the education department does a lot with bringing, taking the shows that are being performed, whether it's Broadway or something touring through the Biam, they'll find some programming that's attached to that and bring young people in so
Okay.
that they can kind of connect into the programming more. We have such an amazing array of teaching artists in this city that
story.
they hire and then go into schools and have workshops and classes and master classes with. I know today, Saturday, and next Saturday, or the Saturday coming up when this is produced, the Trust Arts Education Center, which is on 805 Liberty Avenue, is having a glow zone. So if you need a place, especially on a day like today, to go down and cool off with your kids, it's going to be like a blacklight party. They're going to have lots of glowy, fun
that's a
stuff
great
like
idea.
music. It's going to be a blast. So that's also a great resource through our organization, is connecting into the education
We truly
department.
are so lucky to have the resources that we have in our city, and thanks to the Cultural Trust for making them available. So, go ahead.
Matter of fact, real quick as an edit, since we are live right now, what is behind us? Do you know? Is that a kids
Yeah,
thing?
I think that Sarah can talk.
did
a
we
little
put
bit
you?
about,
Sarah will
yeah.
talk about that. Okay.
And then
Okay.
behind
It just
that is the Hot Wheels. So this is the glass blowing center.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Pittsburgh glass blowing centers,
Okay.
and they're going to do live demonstrations this weekend.
God bless them in
that.
this heat.
Oh, I
doing all
love
that.
the Glass
right.
Center. Oh my gosh.
right.
Yeah. We'll stick around.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
question of the day.
awesome.
This gets really tough.
Okay.
So, we talk about Pittsburghers in the sense that those of us who have lived here our whole lives, we're always like, I've not been to X, right? Some people may not have been to the Carnegie Museum. Some crazy to think.
It is crazy to think,
Is
yeah.
there somewhere in Pittsburgh that you has been on your bucket list or something that you've wanted to go but you've not? And I'll give you my example.
Yeah.
I had no idea that the Irma Freeman Center existed. Right. What is wrong with me? And so now all of a sudden it's like I need to get there, and we
yeah.
are planning a podcast there.
Oh, awesome.
So
Do you know where we have never been, and I keep meaning to go, and I'm not going to remember the name of it.
That's okay.
It's the gentleman who has the house that is covered in
Randy.
paint. Yes.
Yeah.
I've never been
We'll
to
take
Randy
you.
World.
We'll
I
take
would
you
love
to
that.
Randy.
I would
Yeah,
love that.
it's fantastic.
I've seen
Evelyn would
pictures.
love
I've
that.
had friends who go, and
She would love it.
I need to go. I haven't made
And
it
he
over there.
is a great soul, and
Yes.
he explains very
I
well.
need- I need to do that.
And listen, you guys, we just admitted never have I ever in Pittsburgh.
That's
it
right.
happens every
Right,
once in a
right,
while.
right,
That's right.
But if you haven't been to the Three Rivers Arts Festival, you need to get here.
Come down.
Thank you
yeah,
so much.
Thanks
We
so much
appreciate
for
you.
having us.
And
Absolutely.
music coming up
Thank you.
from the Regal Sweet Band.
Perfect. Thanks. That was
Thanks.
easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Thanks.
I don't know. Is he the band, Sarah? Do you know?
He looks like he looks familiar from the band.
Like he's from a band. Can I leave this on?
Yeah. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. And it's okay if we have our picture, right?
Yes. Are you okay with your picture, honey? Sure.
Okay, cool.
I had a feeling she would be
Oh,
fine.
here's my sunglasses.
It is on Facebook Live right now.
Yeah, you can check it out. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great day. Have a lot of fun.
Yeah, she's great. And that's so good to know, like throughout the year. It's evergreen.
Yes.
Okay.
So we are here still
Chatting
on
it up.
Facebook Live. Go get your toast. Go get your coffee. Right.
Yeah, you always say that,
I
and
know.
now you
now
can
it's
actually.
the right
yeah,
time
right.
to do
It
that.
is the
right.
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 Hi there.
Right.
How are you?
I know. How you doing?
Sit down. You can go right there. It's Jackson.
Cool setup, yeah.
All
Mr.
right,
Jackson, if you're nasty, nasty.
Cool. All right.
Good call.
So coming in from music, the Regal Street. Oh, Jesus, I said that 3 times. The Regal Sweet Band, and it's Jackson, and we're listening to one of your songs in between all of our guests on this podcast. So first of all, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
Cheers. It's a beautiful day.
You are so chill. It is 10 o'clock in the morning, and you are like, I got this. You guys are performing at what time today?
Performing at 3 on this very stage.
Okay.
Okay.
All
Yeah.
right. And no strangers to performing. Give us a little bit of detail about your band.
It's a band kind of veterans of like punk and indie and traditional rock and roll. And that's very much the leaning. It's like, could it have been made in 1972?
Okay.
That's the sound of the band.
Okay.
Like draws heavily on Exile on Main Street, era Stones, James Gang, Small Faces, and it's alien to me in that historically I've been in many bands and never done anything stylistically as traditional rock and roll. Like it actually has the roll. Most rock bands don't have the roll
Okay.
anymore, but we have a horn player, we have keyboards, and it's got swing to it, like boogie aspects to
I
it.
heard a lot of organ in it.
Mm-hmm.
Is that? I mean, it
It's a
just
feature,
sounds-
yeah.
Yeah, that's
There-
a feature.
There are 7 gentlemen in the band, which means we never stand a chance of making any money.
That was good.
But
That's good.
we're at peace with that because it's very much like it's a later stage fun project
Okay.
for me. Like I was in a band called Grand Buffet for about a decade in Pittsburgh. We played here ages ago and toured the world, and it was markedly different. It was 2 of us and a DJ, so just a completely different thing
Okay.
stylistically. So this is, I brought a shirt for whoever wears the medium. It's the only one that I had on me. But this is very much in keeping with the aesthetic of the band.
I
We
love
got some-
that.
we got some nice flowers. We got some, and we got a wildcat. Like there's an aesthetic to the band. It's curated in a nice way by the 2 guitarists. I would say Ryan, the lead, the more flowery guitarist.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw that 2 of you got together. It's kind of like had a beer, decided, we should do this, and then all of a sudden the drummer came in, and you
Yeah.
kind of just assembled loosely, right? And then became a band.
Yeah. With an aesthetic in mind, the
Okay.
2 guitarists formed the band, and I am related to the bass players, my stepbrother. So when I initially joined, I thought I was helping them workshop some songs as far as cadence and lyrics. Like, oh yeah, I'll take a stab at this. And they rehearsed in Polish Hill at the Polish
Oh, yeah.
Young Men's Association,
Right,
which
right.
is someday is going to be a gorgeous like leather embossed bar once they make it legal.
But it's been around for a long time,
It's
right?
been around
I feel
for a
like bands-
while on the
yeah.
Hush Hush.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it looks like Deer Hunter
Yeah.
could have a scene in there, like
That's quite the reference, huh?
yeah, the party after the wedding where
Oh my
it was
God.
like there was a somber tone to it. But that place is lovely, and it was in my backyard, so I was like, yeah, sure, I'll just roll up and see what y'all are up to. But it turned into, oh, do you want to be the lead singer? Because I'm the second lead singer, so they had an established situation going, and just schedules and whatnot, it didn't work
Okay.
out, so they were looking for someone maybe a little more rough around the edges,
Okay.
but with more of a I guess panache to froth at the mouth and jump off stages.
Okay.
And that was my background.
Same.
Okay.
So
Same.
Very same.
yeah,
Now, are you from Pittsburgh?
I've been here since '88.
Okay.
I'm originally from Maine.
I was going Boston. I hear a little bit of a Wahlburgers.
Well,
I
I
look,
hear Wahlburgers.
I look like any other dickhead in Boston with, you know, like a Sox shirt. But you got to choose one lane, really. You're in music,
Yeah.
or you're
Yeah.
in sports. Like if you get involved in both, it muddies your edges.
Is that-
Understood.
Yeah.
This is my favorite story about my sons play hockey, and we went to Boston for a hockey, tournament, and we stayed in New Hampshire ahead of time, and we all took our bathing suits. We didn't know that in June, like, it's still cold, and we were all bundled on the beach. So we were looking for things to do that week before the tournament, and on Life 360, my son texted and said, "Mom, it says you are in Maine." I never realized how close all of
Super
the.
close.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, like, to you, it's not, right? You've been to all those
Well,
New England.
I was born in Portland, Maine, which
Okay.
is the southernmost and biggest city.
Right.
And it's turned into one of the most remarkable food and entertainment
really?
districts on the eastern seaboard. But the cost of living is in a whole,
Oh,
like,
is that right?
Martha Stewart is one of the poor people.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Like, you drive along the coast, most of the time during the winter, these mansions are unoccupied. And
Oh, wow.
we're talking like Middle Eastern oil barons
Wow.
putting down money.
Gotcha.
But it's a small town in the winter.
Okay.
Okay.
Pretty cool.
Food wise, visit Portland. It's so remarkable. Hit me up. I'll send you up with a
That's
list.
awesome.
I
I
love
go
that.
back there every summer and
Okay.
fall
Awesome.
to visit mom.
What do you
No.
think of Pittsburgh?
Go
I'm
ahead. I'm
sorry.
sorry, you
No,
go.
I'm sorry. What
Love
do you think
Pittsburgh.
of Pittsburgh? Yeah.
Love Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Being in music in Pittsburgh, if you're thinking about it the wrong way, can kind of be a diminishing returns situation if you don't like what you're doing and you're actively trying to get into the ocean, be a big fish. It doesn't work like that structurally in Pittsburgh. Everyone knows everyone, and you should be psyched about playing music, because if you have aspirations to be a part of an industry, it's somewhere else, and it takes fun out of it.
I got
Having
you.
done all that
Great-
stuff.
Yeah.
That's really, I like that.
Well, yeah, and you talked earlier even about, you've traveled the world and all that stuff, so you're not 20 at this point. So, but
you were
you've seen
21.
the evolution of how a
45-year-old man.
you've seen the evolution, lived the evolution of how music becomes popular. In the old days, it was just hit the streets, get a van, and go.
Yeah,
Now
get
it's
in a van.
YouTube and all that. Have you made that evolution yourself, or you're still you still like it the old ways, or you really adopted the new way? I mean, social media itself wasn't even around when you were touring the world, right?
We have been relatively discreet with social media in that if it's not talking about a show coming up or the music, it's superfluous just putting out content, because people relatively within our age group are just going to be annoyed. It's like, wait, they've been posting 30 pictures of this one show they played 4 months ago? Like, in my mind, it's kind of like, oh,
I got you.
They're losers. They're just like hard up to make it in an industry that doesn't exist anymore.
Is he trying to tell us something? 'Cause
Yeah.
Are we over posters?
Yeah,
I
he's
think
like,
that's what
make
she's-
sure you only post
Yeah,
one
I think
picture of this
that's what's
podcast.
If you're doing a podcast, it makes perfect sense.
All right.
Yeah, all right.
Because that's media.
Sure.
It's like
Yeah.
we're
I
not
know what you're
media.
saying. Yeah,
I got you.
I get
No,
what
no.
you're saying.
I get it, but it's interesting, that even YouTube, it didn't even seem like you have a lot of YouTube going on there because it seems like you like the
Live aspect.
the organic style of it, like from what it used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We would be
True to your hearts.
beholden to whoever is filming us at a club
Yeah.
that we're playing, and that stuff can go up vetted or not, and it might represent us well or it might not. I mean, having been in bands since 1999, I was in a band that would have done so good in the golden age of YouTube, but we were in the very beginning of YouTube, so all that audio sounds like it's been run through a blender.
I got you. Yeah.
Sure.
Well, I have to tell you, I mean, listening to the songs that going on your Bandcamp page, and I'm turned on to it. I'm glad the podcast brought us to you because it's really good music. I love it.
Yeah, hopefully one of y'all or both of you will be around for the show.
Yeah, we just might be popping back down. We
That's
have to
right.
run up to Wexford, going up to Wexford, and then we
Yeah.
might have to come back. You're
Nice.
taking the stage at 3 today?
Taking the stage at 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Regal Sweet Band, where can everybody find you and follow you? Don't follow them because there's nothing to see, but where can they go? Is there a website?
The Regal Suite is on Instagram. There's no official website because
Okay.
it's just kind of unnecessary
Yeah.
at the time.
Yeah.
We're working on our second album. Really like where the material is, and we wish everyone listening the best. I've never been this positive in my musical life. I don't have to.
I
That's
love
cool.
It. That's good to
Yeah.
hear. Sarah, you can
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
before we let you go, we have one Pittsburgh-based question.
Okay.
You've been here since '88, did you say?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a place in Pittsburgh that's sort of been on your bucket list or that everybody knows about in which you've not visited yet and you say, oh, I need to get there? Example, Heather just said Randyland over in the north side. I said the Irma Freeman Center. John, do you have one?
I've been to both of those
Okay.
places. I think my leanings now would be more cryptozoology, like mysteries of Pittsburgh type of things. Because I have been everywhere except maybe there's a dive bar I'm missing
Love
Okay.
dive
out on
bars.
the
We got
He
one.
loves dive
did
bars.
us some
Grove.
magic. Which one?
The Grove Bar in North
Okay,
Hills.
then my
Grove.
answer is the Grove
The
bar.
Grove. Listen, this is going on the North Hills page. I love it. Jackson, thank you for joining us. We
Thank
appreciate
you all.
you.
Yeah, have
we
a lovely
appreciate it.
day.
That's
And
awesome.
again, since we're on Facebook Live right now, 3 o'clock tonight, as you heard, they need videos of
medium
themselves. So
for
come down
whoever.
and make sure they sound and look good, right? Make sure
Yeah,
Jackson
yeah.
looks good. Nice. All right.
We'll break a sweat tonight.
All right. Yeah, I'm breaking it right now, just sitting still
Oh
here.
my God, me too.
All right, Sarah Aziz.
John Chamberlain.
Royalty in the house.
Right.
Oh, please.
What's up?
Why, I wonder why she's keeping such a distance.
I know.
Jackson was sitting there. I didn't want to sit on his lap. That seemed weird.
It's bad etiquette.
Yeah. Also, it's hot.
Sarah, we absolutely are not pulling your chain when we say we love having you on the podcast because you are one of the most eloquent speakers. You truly represent and embody the art in Pittsburgh, and it
Aw.
is such a privilege to be around you because every time we see you on the news, when you can conduct and hold an audience like no one I've ever seen.
Well, thank you.
I mean that.
And
Thank
we
you.
witnessed that because, when you emceed our game
Oh my
show between
gosh.
That
Pittsburgh
was
Today Live,
a
we had so much
blast.
Sarah,
feedback.
people
Like,
liked you better than anybody.
people went up to Rachel and said, fire John and hire Sarah.
No, they said, I see who Rachel's replacement is. And
No,
I was
you
like,
were-
I don't like that lady.
Stop
You were
it.
fantastic. If you're a loser and you haven't watched or listened to it, make sure you click the link because we'll put it in the show notes to go listen to it. And actually, you can watch it on YouTube as well.
I would do that game show every month. I thought it was so fun.
So
I
much
loved
fun.
raising money for the charities.
Yeah.
Monica was a party. Everybody. It was.
Right.
It was so fun.
We
It
love
was
that
easy
concept.
to be
We
good.
have to keep it going, yeah, for sure. So I feel like it's an annual thing. Well, it is an annual thing with PTL, but we have to have you as our guest host.
Anytime.
All right.
Seriously.
But now you're hosting this
I
on
am.
behalf of the Cultural Trust. And what is it like? I mean, I literally texted you yesterday and said, good luck. I can't imagine what the next 2 weeks are going to be like. But as you say, you literally stop and the planning starts all over for something else, right?
I mean, the planning for this next year started in March. So it's about like a 15 to 18 month process to get this all together. But yes, I will start planning Highmark First Night Pittsburgh pretty much as soon as this wraps up. This is the fun time. Like this is when I get to kick back and relax.
Oh, is that right?
And, I mean, there's like always little hiccups, but our operations team, Five Space Productions, fixes everything before it's really a problem. Kevin Wilkes, our VP of security, keeps everyone safe and secure. I don't have to lose any sleep over that because I know Kevin is, but he's taking care of everything. I mean, we work with everybody in the city. So this is the fun part. It's when you guys talk to me back in the winter when I'm like trying to juggle all the headliners who are trying to figure out their tours and, I really want KT Tunstall. Can she play Friday? Or no, she can only play Wednesday. And oh, no, wait, the LA day moved so she can, that's the part that's stressful. Now this is cake.
And you're like, it's rolling. It's sort of like the Raiders of the Lost Ark. The rock is running. You're running in front of it. And it's like, if I stop, it's going to run me over.
It's going to run me over. So you got to just keep going.
So let's talk business for 1 second here. The Dollar Bank folks, they've been involved in this. I mean, it seems like forever. And how cool is that tradition, the tradition of the Arts Festival is one thing. The tradition of not having to go seek out like a major sponsor like that is pretty cool, I think.
It's huge. They have been our title sponsor for over 20 years.
Wow.
That's something.
They are so supportive, and this is not the only thing they do. Like if you look at lots of different arts events throughout the year, throughout the region, you'll see Dollar Bank's name on so many of it. They believe so strongly in the power of art and community, and they truly put their money where their mouth is, right? They were on stage with me yesterday, so it's not just like, we're going to write you a check and, good luck with the festival. Like, don't mess up our name. They are on site. They are handing out bags every year. Everybody, you go to Giant Eagle throughout the year and everybody has their reusable Three Rivers Arts Festival Dollar Bank tote. They really believe in this, and we are so lucky to have this regional bank. They've been in Pittsburgh for so long.
Well,
and
that's what I think. We talk about shopping local and buying local. I mean, literally buy your bank local, right? Because they are local. They're not spread all over the country.
Yeah, no, they're not. And they have really invested in this region, rather than sort of like thinning out or going with a bigger. So many of the smaller banks now, props to Chase and Bank of America and all of those. I'm sure they're great. But Dollar Bank has kind of stayed a small bank and really invested here. Yeah. And that's so special. Nice. We're so lucky to have it.
A little bit like we asked Heather, you kind of oversee all of this.
Right.
But what is it like to really think about how we're evolving, and you have to almost each year recalibrate and look at what your audience is like and how you can actually relate to a new audience each year as we grow, right? What is that like? And how do you sort of compartmentalize it?
Yeah, it's a real balance because Pittsburgh loves tradition, right? So I am so lucky. This is such a privilege. I say it all the time, but I really, really mean it, to direct this festival that means so much to so many people. It has such an important history. And so balancing that, like, you don't want to change too much. You want to be true to that original vision of bringing the art out of the museum and to the people, and this being accessible to everybody, but also making it exciting so that people don't feel like, oh, I've been to the Arts Festival before, I don't need to go again. But rather spinning that to like, I've been to the Arts Festival before and I need to go every year because there's always something better. I can get my Christmas gifts. I can see music for free. I can, get the Arts Festival food that I love. Everybody, you guys were talking about corn dogs earlier this week, and I was like, I cannot believe, I'm sure Kennywood corn dogs are good. I'm a vegetarian, so like I'm the total wrong person to ask, but the number of people that walk around the Arts Festival eating corn dogs is exorbitant. Like, people were so excited.
Text us if you have a corn dog. I want to know where they're at.
Listen, I hate them. No interest whatsoever.
Well,
Okay, but there's chicken
Oh, I
tenders,
know.
fresh cut
I know.
fries, classic half-pound burgers, and
Sarah,
Nashville
she's
hot
back-selling
chicken.
now. She's like,
just
Sarah's like
looking,
Rachel. Up.
just looking behind us, just in one little area. So but what's funny is food was not even part of the festival originally, and the original founders of the festival were very like, we don't want food at the festival. It'll turn it into a fair. And, they really wanted it to be centered on the art. So balancing that, still having great art and the focus being on the art and the music. And you can also eat here, right?
Right.
Keeping that focus and just keeping everything fresh but also traditional is a balance.
And I
that you
think
gotta
that's a
strike.
really good
That's
phrase.
a great answer, yeah.
Because one of my questions I wanted to ask you is, it was traumatic when we had to move out of Point State Park, right?
I know, yes.
But
so many tears.
We, so many traditions for there, but we've created new traditions. Is the footprint bigger, better now? Because geographically, we're not even tied to just what the river edges are, right?
No, we're
so
not.
So can it be bigger? Is that kind of thing?
Yeah, totally. So we moved out of Point State Park in 2021 because the park changed their regulations, and this is a 10-day festival. It takes about 2 weeks to set up, have the festival, and tear down. So we had a choice between shortening the festival and keeping it in the park or keeping it the same length. And after much consideration and analysis and conversations, we decided the length was important and moving it to the cultural district was important. And so last year was the first year it was completely in the cultural district. It was more centered along Penn Avenue. And we did a ton of surveys, the most surveys we've ever gotten since the festival came under the Cultural Trust in 2009. And we really listened to folks. A lot of people did like the artist market up here. We got a lot of feedback from not only guests but artists that, it was nice to be able to pull right up to your booth and set up. There's no, schlepping across the lawn or in Gateway. You can't drive into Gateway. There's a lot of dollying, so that was really convenient for the artists. And also for the guests, it's more spacious. The roads are wider.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. You have more opportunities to go inside and talk to artists, and the sales were great. We also heard that closing down Penn for 2 weeks was not ideal. It wasn't great. There's a lot of businesses on Penn. Everybody was super kind, but everyone was like, well, it was really hard getting our deliveries and our we had people moving, and it was logistically a challenge. And standing on 9th Street and watching bands was just not the best. It was urban and it felt cool and it was what it was, and last year's festival was great in many ways, but we're like, all right, we got to find a new spot for the Dollar Bank main stage. We got to keep, people liked the artist market. All right, let's see what we can do. And so we thought, people loved the Allegheny Overlook.
Yes.
When we got to work with our friends over at the PDP and kick off the Allegheny Overlook in 2021, people loved it. And so we're like, can we fit the big stage over there? And so there was lots of measuring and hemming and hawing, and can people turn, and what kind of barricades do we need? And this is what I do from October till now, is figure out traffic patterns. But we fit the stage. The audience is on Fort Duquesne. There's shade. There's river. You really feel like you're in Pittsburgh.
It is quite the view. Because we always drove on it, but never took the time to look out.
You're not thinking about it.
Sit there and listen to a band. You're like, shit, that actually looks pretty cool right here.
It really does. It really does. Pro tip, the Pirates have fireworks next Friday, June 9th. The best spot to watch them, right along Fort Duquesne.
Nice.
Sarah's whispering, and I'm like,
what? I know, because it's a pro tip. You gotta lean in.
It's your arts festival hack.
That's your insider's guide. Yeah. But yeah, so we think this year is better, but we do have tons of people walking around doing surveys. Again, I cannot emphasize how important it is to us to hear from you. We have folks on site. We send out email surveys later. So we really, really, really want feedback from whoever you are. If you're a guest who's coming, if you're an artist in the market, if you're a resident downtown, if you're a Pirates fan, if you are someone who marches in Pride.
Or someone who's never been there before.
Yes.
This is what I want
Why
to
haven't you been
Well,
here?
right.
Please
Yeah.
tell me. I
Yeah.
want you to come.
Yes, exactly.
And,
And you're
I-
missing out.
Every video we make with you, we do like a hack as far as parking, right?
Sure.
So tell everybody. So we are in the backyard, which is again
Used to.
Yeah, we talk about used to be's.
Right.
It's right near the Goodyear Center.
That's
but it's on Penn. Right, yeah, this is
8th
Penn.
and Penn,
Yeah,
yeah.
8th and Penn. So, but there are so many places to park, or even just parking on the north side, because this week there's a
Yeah.
lot going on.
So
right?
use the Park PGH app.
There you
That's
go.
it.
I don't know. I don't know why everybody just doesn't have it on their foot. Like first thing, so it's real time parking. It'll show you not just garages in the cultural district, but all downtown, north side. It'll show you how much they cost and how many spaces are available. So you can figure out what works best for you. You know, maybe it makes more sense to park over on the other side of downtown over by USX Steel and walk over. Maybe it makes more sense to park on the North Shore and take the T over or walk across a bridge. Maybe it does make sense to park in downtown because there's a $5 garage over by Market Square. You know, just use the app. Just use the app.
Use the app.
Just
Hashtag use the app.
Yeah.
Sarah, Aziz, where can everybody find you, follow you, learn more about the Cultural Trust, and especially get to TRAF?
So you can go to trustarts.org/TRAF, TRAF. Everything you need is there. You click on Plan My Visit. You'll find the map. You'll find the parking tips, the link to the app, all of the things.
I love
Yeah,
it.
I think that's the key is you come down and see if I visited this earring person last year, are they here or not? Are they here for just 3 days? You know, because all the artists aren't here all 10 days.
That is right. So
Yeah.
we
Yeah,
had
that's
a
a good
bunch
point.
of artists load in last night who are only here this weekend. So we have 3 different choices. You can either be here the first 5 days, you can be here the last 5 days, or you can be here a weekend. So I
Okay.
guess 4 choices, first weekend
Gotcha.
or second weekend. So yeah, Tuesday, the first 5-day artists will wrap up and new artists will come in on Wednesday. So yeah, overall, over 300 artists over the course of the 10
Wow.
days.
Great.
That is
So super fun.
that's amazing.
Do you want to know where I haven't been?
Yeah. Is there any place you haven't been? That was. The
I
question.
haven't been to the. Is it called the Puttery? The new golf
Oh, yeah, in the
place.
strip
One?
district.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's-
you haven't been there either.
No.
We should go.
Let's do
I'm
that.
really
Make a video
terrible,
of it.
but it'll be
We'll
fun.
take Johnny
I'm
and we'll make a
terrible,
video
too.
of it.
I am awful at it, and I think that's why I'm like, I'm good. But yeah,
My
we'll go.
kids wanted to ask Rachel if you made it to Noah's Ark yet.
This is
And
so funny.
they want you to know that we have annual passes so they can go anytime, whenever you're ready. They
you
don't
know
we
they're
are
wanna
gonna
making
rush
that
you.
video. We
know
are going to
that.
make that video where the
I'm not
Aziz
doing
kids
it.
take Rachel through Noah's Ark at Kennywood.
I love
that
you
is
and
a
your
video
children,
to be
Sarah.
made.
I'm not doing
You're
it.
not
Listen,
doing
she
it.
wants to sing in Greece.
Wait, I want to make it clear that my kids are very clear that they do not want to force you. They respect
them.
your
I know.
boundaries, but they were just curious.
I
thought
find
it was really
comical
funny that they remembered.
They are obsessed with. They could not believe it when they heard me say that.
They
We're
really
making
couldn't.
that video. We're
No,
making-
not
Yes.
until she's ready. My kids will not
you,
do
see?
it. My
She's
kids
not
won't
forcing
do
you.
it
She's
if
that
Rachel's
way.
not
We're
ready.
just going to show up one day and go through. We're
All
going to
right.
blindfold
All
her.
right, I'll do it.
Ah, there you go.
Because I
All
accept
right.
challenges. And
But
I'm
no
crazy.
corn dogs.
Sarah Aziz.
Hard pass on the corn dogs.
Thank you so much for letting us do this. Thanks again to
Yeah,
Fly
this is
Space for
great.
their flexibility,
Oh,
for letting us
every
use the
single
stage. They're
time.
just angels, aren't they?
They are.
Yeah.
Magic.
And thanks to Jackson, who from the Regal Suite Band.
Do you want to switch mics so we can do our people's?
Yep, we can. All right, Sarah, can I borrow that?
Yeah.
mic
Do you
real
want
quick?
this one? Yeah.
Thank you,
All
sir.
right.
Ma'am? Sir, ma'am?
All right.
All right. Oh, you have it?
Yeah, you just
I'm
handed it to
handing
me.
you another one.
You literally just handed it to
I'm
me.
sorry. Go
All
ahead.
right. Did you know Pennsylvania law requires you to call 811 at least 3 business days before you dig? That's not just for contractors and big projects. It's even homeowners working on.
Simple projects like a new mailbox or even expanding your garden, you have to call 811 before you dig. It is simple, it is free, and as a homeowner or a renter, it's the law. Oh. I know, right? Follow peoples-gas.com. Thank you guys for being with us on the YaJagoff Podcast. Have a great weekend.
Yeah. And do we finish thanking everybody for an edit? Oh, we didn't thank Heather. We have to thank Heather and Evelyn for coming on, the programming manager for the Pittsburgh Cultural Trust. And, of course, thank you to Rorik Honda.
Oh, John. Get the best experience of customer service and maintenance of your Rorik Advantage at the Service Center on West Liberty Avenue.
Oh, sorry. I wasn't.
Visit rorikhonda.com for all of your vehicle needs and check out our blog posts whenever you can, because guess